They say children are the future of tomorrow. But what future do we have when we have mortgaged the future of our children to gods, idols, and deities? Every country, tribe, or ethnic group has its history. This history encompasses deities they worshipped, conjugal rights, occupation, food, dressing, music, belief systems, and lots more that are unique to them. Some of these age-long traditions have survived the test of time and remain relevant even in this present civilization. A good instance is the Igbo Yam Festival, that is, Iriji Uhuru, which happens every year in August to mark the harvest of new yam. Another one is the use of white bedspread for a couple's first night together after marital rites. This is usually to confirm the virginity of the woman. If the bedspread remains white after the conjugal ceremony, then the woman is a virgin and would be valued by her husband. If not, she is termed a prostitute and is at the mercy of the husband, who would decide whether or not to keep her. Then the world advanced. Certain cultural values are considered outlandish today. Some of these barbaric practices include the royal reed dance, also called Umhosi Wamlanga. It's an annual festival celebrated in South Africa that entails young maidens dancing half naked to deposit a reed in Eyonkini Palace, where the ruler lives. According to them, the practice is to preserve the virginity of the girls, and the ones who have lost their virginity are prohibited to participate. Another one is bride kidnapping, traditional Romani practice that entails girls being kidnapped and married off to boys. The worst part is that all these unwholesome cultural practices were targeted to enslave the girl child to the sexuality of men, showcasing them as second-class citizens who are not good for anything other than sex. The most helpless case is the giving of very young girls into marriage with an idol every year. Crazy, right? The said practice is peculiar to the people of Palu Putupatu village in India. The yearly ritual of getting a girl married to a frog, organized in Palu Putupatu village on the Tamil Nadu Puducherry border, is a thought-provoking meeting of fairy tale and real life. On the first Friday of Thai, the month of Tamil, every year, a little girl of Palu Putupatu village is married off to a frog that is fished out from a temple tank. For the year 2009, two 7-year-old girls named R. Vineswari and Masia Kani were married to two frogs that were fished out from a Sri Mutu Miriaman temple. During the wedding, the residents adopted all the rituals that were followed during a normal wedding. The people living at the western side of Sri Mutu Miriaman temple were considered as relatives of frogs. They visited the residence of the brides, Vinenswari and Masia Kani, and obtained permission from their parents for the marriage. The girls were dressed up in traditional bridal finery, gilded saris and gold jewelry, and married the frog princes in separate, elaborate ceremonies at two different temples in the presence of hundreds of villagers. After 3 long hours of trying to catch frogs from the tank, they actually succeeded, amidst chanting of devotional hymns and beating of drums. Temple priests, on behalf of the amphibians, tied nuptial knots to Vineswari and Masia Kani in a pandal set up near a school. After the ceremony, residents greeted the newly married couples and offered moi, cash, to them. Dinner was served to all the invitees in pandal to commemorate the union. After performing puja, the frogs were released into the temple pond. The villagers usually throw themselves into the ceremonies with gusto. The residents living in the western part of the village always acted as relatives of the bride, and those from the eastern part acted as relatives of the groom. The ceremonies had all of the usual elements of a traditional marriage, including a sumptuous feast at the end. The local residents are of the belief that performing such marriages will protect them from evil forces and ailments. An elder Pachai Yamal disclosed, "People were conducting such marriages for many centuries now. We believe that Sri Miriaman would protect us from evil forces if such marriages were conducted annually." Villagers said that according to a myth, the people of Palu Patu had suffered from various hardships and a large number of children and others died, following an outbreak of cholera and other ailments in the village. And when they called unto their goddess Sri Mary Yaman to help them, she appeared in their dream and suggested them to conduct divine marriage every year. In the dream, the goddess said the marriage must be conducted between Lord Shiva, who would be reincarnated as a frog and live in the temple tank, and herself, as she would reincarnate herself as a girl child. Ever since, the practice has found a permanent stay in the village. Despite eons of years have gone by, the villagers still engage in the ceremonies. How frustrating! Practically, every vicious mindset that exists today started with some customs to put certain things in check. Most of the bondages and difficult situations that people find themselves in, be it academic, financial, marital, began ages ago. Some of these things culminate into spiritual strongholds and systems that oppress and possess the individuals involved, often causing misfortune for them. This is what Nigerians tag as village people. Back then in my undergraduate days, there was this case of a young man who always had epileptic bouts. It was discovered that his ailment was caused by something his father did at a particular time before he got married. Scary, right? Concerned questions are, will the girls be dedicated to the frogs all their lives and have no prospects of marrying an actual human being later in their lives? What if while growing up they fall in love and marry their heartthrobs? Will there be consequences? And what will they be? What are your thoughts on these questions? Let us know in the comment section.